In the forgotten village of Dunharrow, shrouded by dense pine woods and whispers of old folklore, stood an ancient manor house called Thornhaven. Isolated and cloaked in perpetual fog, the house bore the curse of 7 generations of tragedy, all traced back to one named Septima Blackwell, known only in hushed tones as the Wicked Septmother. No one alive remembered her face, but her presence lingered like mildew on the walls. Her portrait, once proudly hung in the main hall, had long since been removed, burned in a secret fire after a series of unexplained deaths among the household staff. But Thornhaven's new occupants didn't believe in such things. Eliza Thorne, a young widow with a 10-year-old daughter named Amelia, inherited the estate from a distant uncle she never knew. With nothing left for them in the city but debt and grief, Eliza saw Thornhaven as a fresh start. The villagers warned her. The old caretaker, Mr. Cray, refused to step foot inside. Even the local priest blessed the house from the garden gate, but would not cross the threshold. "You've brought a child," he whispered with concern. "Septima hates children." Eliza dismissed the talk as superstition, the kind that clings to remote places like moss to stone. But the very first night, things began. At exactly 3:07 a.m., Eliza awoke to the sound of soft, humming old lullaby she didn't recognize. The tune came from Amelia's room. When she rushed in, the girl was sitting upright in bed, eyes wide and glassy. "She was here," Amelia said in a flat voice. "The lady with too many eyes. She told me not to tell." "Nightmares," Eliza insisted. "Just your imagination." But Amelia changed after that night. Her drawings became violent, twisted figures with 7 eyes and 7 mouths. She no longer played outside. She sat by the fireplace and whispered to someone only she could see. Then came the scratching. Each morning, long claw marks appeared on the inside of Amelia's door. Once, Eliza caught a glimpse of movement in the hallway mirror, a flicker of black lace and a wide-brimmed mourning hat. Determined to protect her daughter, Eliza dug into the estate's history. Hidden in the manor's east wing, sealed off for Decadesci, found a crumbling diary locked in a rusted drawer. It belonged to Septima Blackwell. According to the diary, Septima was no ordinary woman. She had been a practitioner of old forbidden rites rituals whispered down from pagan times, meant to preserve beauty, youth, and power. She believed that the energy of the young could feed the old, and that the number 7 held divine significance. The villagers once revered her as a healer, but when 7 children vanished over 7 years, the people turned. Before they could bring her to justice, Septima disappeared into the manor's walls. Some say she never died, only changed. The final diary entry read, "When the 7th bloodline returns, so shall I." Eliza's blood ran cold. She remembered the letter that came with the deed. "You are the last living Thorn descendant." She was the 7th generation. That night, Thornhaven trembled. The house groaned with unnatural wind, though the trees outside stood still. Eliza barred Amelia's room and stood watch. But at 3:07 a.m., the door burst open. A woman, impossibly tall and draped in rotting lace, floated down the hallway, her face hidden behind a cracked porcelain mask with 7 jagged eye holes. Septima had returned. Eliza grabbed a fire iron, but it passed through the apparition like smoke. The air grew frigid. Candles snuffed themselves out. Septima reached for Amelia. In desperation, Eliza dragged her daughter to the east wing, to the room where she found the diary. There, on the floor beneath the rotting floorboards, was a faded circle drawn in, chalk-etched with runes. A ward. She dragged Amelia into the circle just as Septima reached the doorway. The ghost screamed not in pain, but in fury. Her mask cracked further, revealing eyes that weren't eyes at all, just gaping black holes dripping shadow. She clawed at the circle's edge, but could not pass. The chalk held. Amelia began chanting something under her breath. Eliza turned, horrified. Her daughter's voice was no longer hers. "I belong to her now," the voice said. "She lives through me." With shaking hands, Eliza pulled the diary from her coat, At the back, she found a ritual written in blood. It wasn't meant to banish Septima, but to trap her again. There was only one catch. It required a sacrifice. Eliza had to choose, herself or her daughter. She whispered to the spirit that she would give herself willingly, if only Septima would let Amelia go. For a moment, silence. Then Septima smiled. "Blood for blood," she said. Eliza stepped beyond the circle. The moment her foot crossed the chalk, the ghost lunged, consuming her in tendrils of darkness. Her scream echoed through the halls, then faded. Amelia collapsed. When she awoke, she was herself again, but her mother was gone. All that remained was the fire iron lying on the floor and the diary open to a blank page, the ink smeared with fresh tears. The villagers found Amelia days later, alone in the East Wing, humming the same lullaby. She wouldn't speak of what happened not to anyone. But those who visit Thornhaven today say, a woman can sometimes be seen in the upper window at 7 a.m., staring into the fog. Not Septima, but Elizanao, the house's eternal guardian. As for Septima, her portrait, long thought destroyed, appeared again above the fireplace one morning, fresh, vivid, and smiling.